Welcome to my video about my California deer season for 2023. I stopped doing these type of hunting videos years ago because they're just a lot of work. YouTube really hates them and tends to demonetize them more than any other types of videos I post. And in the end, they get very few views for all the work I put into them. Also, trying to film while you're out hunting on foot will cause you to miss some shot opportunities, and I really don't enjoy that. But in the end, I decided, hey, you know what? I'll do a video anyway. Unfortunately, I didn't draw tags for any of the premium hunt zones that I put in for this year. So I was forced to buy general over-the-counter tags for zones with a lot of pressure and very poor genetics. I'll focus most of my scouting and attention to D9, but I also purchased a D13 tag, which allows me to also hunt D11 and D15. But both of those zones that I picked have about a 7 to 8% success rate. Mule deer populations in California have radically different genetic quality. A mature buck in zone D13 will look like a little tiny goat compared to a mature buck in X12. So when you look at the deer I'll be glassing in this video, keep in mind that I'm hunting one of the most pressured hunting zones in the country, and the genetics are very bad here. In California, we're allowed to shoot any buck that has a fork on one side. And as a result of this poor management practice, bucks in over-the-counter tag zones rarely live more than 1.5 years and are normally killed before they get to experience their first rut. Even though killing bucks that young is perfectly legal and very common in this state, I don't do it personally. I'll pass on all 1.5-year-old bucks as a personal choice, which usually in these types of zones makes hunting very tough because that's usually all I see. Well, I hope you really enjoy the scenery in this video. When you get outside of our shitty cities, communist politics, and inconsiderate people, California really is the most beautiful state in the country. So sit back and relax as I show you a chronicle of my 2023 California deer season. Well, I hiked up to that knoll right there, right up there, so I can glass the saddle and this basin down here, which I'm in right now. I'm hiking back down the mountain into my truck, and bucks, no legal bucks. So I think it's a little bit warm right now. They're probably up a lot higher than this. So I'm gonna go further back. I don't know if you could see it back there between this saddle, but there's an area right over there where the mountains get up over 8,000 feet, and I think I'm gonna have to go hit those ridges up there. But and I'm up on this ridge, way up high on this ridge up here. And you can see there's a lot of deer sign here. The deer have been digging here and pooping here. And we have, which is probably where they're feeding. So this is a good spot to set up a cam. And this is where I have my camera hooked up at right there. So, time to hike back down. Got deer tracks everywhere, and some fresh poop. This generally means that they're stopping and feeding in this area. They're not just passing through, which is good. Well, thank goodness, in a forest full of live oak and black oak, I finally found some white oak. You can kind of tell right here, if you look right here, the deer have been browsing on this thing. I hiked up to the top of this big ridge right here and just give everything a good look. This is one of the peaks I recognized on Onyx that I wanted to hike up and try out, and I ran into 3 deer, and the whole way up this ridge I had the wind in my face, so they didn't even know I was there. I just sat there staring at them, so that's a good sign. Came in the right direction. Also seen a few mountain quail up here, which is promising for me. But a week and a half to opener, and still out here looking for those nice bucks. You're legal, bro, but you are way too small. Little forky. Well, I had one buck walk through my overwatch area this morning, and it was a 1.5-year-old, basically a little tiny 2x2 sticking straight up. Although that's California legal, that's definitely not a opening day shooter, especially since I was getting some better bucks than that on my trail cams in this area. So got to this spot at about 5 o'clock and set everything up and drank some hot cocoa and waited till legal shooting hours and started glassing around. And one buck so far. It was legal, but I'm not going to shoot it. Let that one grow a couple more years. So this is the hunting spot I set up for the opener, and it's a great spot. As you can see, I'm up on top of a ridge, and pretty much a lot of area right here to cover. I came up here a couple times earlier with the saw and cut back a little bit of vegetation, but basically it's everything I need right there. It's protected from the elements a little bit. It's got lots of cover and concealment right there. Comfortable little seat, you know, nice little nook to sit in, and even when the sun comes out, if it comes out bright, I got a bit of shade from this pine tree, so it's a good area. Unfortunately, the wind shifted on me, and this spot is busted. Well, it's day 2 of the opener, and decided to hunt a different spot further up the mountains, about 8,000 feet elevation right now. And when I first started putting out trail cameras, I got one pretty decent buck here, 3x4, but haven't seen him on the camera since. So I decided to hunt this area, and while I'm here, retrieve my cameras in this area. And I've seen about 5 or 6 does, but no bucks. I just saw 2 does and 2 fawns playing around in this little meadow down here. You can see up there on the mountain. It's already dropped into the 30s, and it looks like maybe that rain's on the way. just check weather service on my radio, and there's supposed to be thunderstorms coming, so I'm gonna hike a little bit lower. I don't want to be on this ridge right now, but the deer are out. Well, we had the first cold front of my hunting season come through. Even a chance of thunderstorms today. And I'm up working these ridges today, and there are a lot of deer out. This little cold front really brought them out. They're active, and sometimes when you're hunting in areas like these oak woodlands right here, and especially in the fall, the ground is just covered with dry leaves. And you got to walk through it. But there's tons of videos on how to step through the woods without making a lot of noise on these dry leaves. But to tell you the truth, the deer are kind of accustomed to it. Other deer are stepping on these leaves and crunching them. About everything that goes through this is stepping on this. But there's one unnatural sound that'll get a deer's attention every time, and it's this. So watch where you step. You're gonna have to step on these dry leaves. It's just part of the game, but don't step on sticks. And it's really bringing the deer out. I've seen about 20 does this morning, and 2 bucks, but unfortunately those bucks were spikes. They were big spikes. One had about a 12-inch spike sticking up off its head, but not legal and not what I'm looking for. So I'll keep on going with the grind here and hiking around, driving around. But a lot of deer out and about today. This is a promising sign. I love it when these cold fronts come through. We're supposed to get scattered showers in a couple hours here, and that'll be really good for the deer hunting. So we'll see what happens. Well, it's the end of the day on October 2nd. Last few minutes of legal shooting light, and still empty-handed. Today we hunted pretty hard, especially this evening, and it got cold again, down in the 30s, which was good. A lot of deer out and about still, even during the daylight hours in the middle of the day, but almost all does, a couple of spikes. But I did see a California legal buck today. It was there was basically a spike with a couple little tiny branches branched off of it. It might have been 3 points on one side, but that was a really young buck. I'm not going to shoot that. And we still got a long way to go for hunting season, and it's not going to get hotter. It's only going to get colder. So I think the hunting's going to get better as the season progresses. But it's beautiful out here. I'm just loving it. It's crazy that I could be so high in elevation and it could be so warm. Well, it's October 5th today, and I played hooky from work this morning to go up in the zone and hunt. And I think I remember saying on my last video recording, the last time I was out here hunting, that it's only going to get better from here because the weather's going to get colder. Well, boy, was I wrong. A late summer, early fall heat wave came through, and it's supposed to get 85 degrees up here today. And down in the valley where I live, it's supposed to be 99 degrees. So as you can imagine, I've worked my ass off today, and I'm not seeing anything. I saw one doe while I drove in to park my truck on the side of the road, and that's basically it. That's all I've seen today. I'm not seeing anything, which is crazy because a few days ago when I came out here at the tail end of that cold front that came through, man, I saw tons of deer, but nothing right now. So I don't know. Maybe hike back down to the truck, drive into town here, a little mountain cafe, and get something for lunch, and then maybe end up going back to work. Well, hopefully this ends and we get back to that great cool weather that was bringing the deer out. Well, I'm following this game trail back here where I got a trail camera set up, and look at this, a human footprint. You can see right here some broken brush right there. So a person has been drinking my Kool-Aid. One of the best moments of the hike when you finally get back to the truck. I'm ready to drive down this mountain and get me a burger and a cold beer. It's already getting warm up here. It's already in the 70s. Basically just still hunting through the woods today because it's hot. A heat wave came in, and just checking out these game trails. And you can tell this one gets a lot of activity, a lot of fresh deer tracks. And if you look at this right here, these little baby oak trees right here, you can tell a lot of animals have been going between this. Look at all the leaves are gone on the branches sticking out right here. So this is heavily traveled and recently traveled. So when I'm out hiking in the woods looking for deer, I never pass up plants like this. A lot of similar plants. I mean, technically you could probably even use dandelions if you find them, but inside the pods you get this really light fiber, and I use this stuff as wind indicators. A lot of times, like right now, when I come across this stuff, I'm actually gonna pick the cotton fibers out of the middle of it, and I'll fill my pocket with these. And when I need a wind indicator, I don't know if you can see that. These are great wind indicators. So a lot of stuff you can use out in the woods that people don't think about. Well, we're still in that little heat wave I was talking about on my last video. And apparently we're supposed to have like 3 more days of this. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sweating my ass off already. Today I decided to just go out and do some still hunting, just walk around the woods in some promising areas. And also this hot weather, if you could see them, really brought out the mosquitoes, man. Getting eaten alive. So I'm going to hike back to my truck, call it a day, pull some trail cameras, and head home. And when the weather cools off in a few days, I'll be back up in the mountains. Well, we got us a cold front. It is blowing hard. It's like sustained 40, maybe 50 miles an hour out right now. It is blowing hard, so who knows, this could be good for the deer hunting today. Get back in the truck. It is freezing too. Well, it's legal shooting light today, and as you can see, a big cold front moved in. A little bit of scattered showers, which is good. We are seeing a lot of does and even a few spikes this morning, but nothing worth shooting. But the good news is the deer are out and about in numbers I haven't seen in a little while. Woo, that wind is just biting. It's coming off that ridge above me, and it is just freezing. My hands are numb filming this right now. But that's good deer weather, and hopefully I score today. Becca tried to set up the good camera, tried to set up a good kill shot for you, and it took us too long to get our shit together, and we lost that opportunity. But you know, when you're trying to film hunts, that's an unfortunate drawback, especially when you stalk close. Right now, and Becca was going to film this shot, and she got her camera set up, got everything focused, got everything in. I was setting up a good shooting spot. Taking one more glass on the buck before I took a shot, and as luck would have it, a little spike ran right across the front of it, pissed it off, and that buck got up and ran, and we lost it. But Becca, I believe Becca got a picture or two of that buck, and I'll show that right now. I did find one and lost my opportunity on it, so I'll probably be back up in 2 days. Hopefully this cold weather sticks around and I get another opportunity and capitalize on it this time. Just walking these ridge lines, hoping to come across something. This warm trend continues. The only good news is that it looks like the deer are in the pre-rut. We saw a couple spikes this morning, and they were fucking does, so it's definitely either pre-rut or some of them are already in the rut. And then a guy yesterday shot a little 1x2, and while he's cleaning that thing up, we noticed that that little buck was in the rut right now. So this is my last chance before. Luckily, I have another tag in another zone adjacent to this zone, and in that zone I can hunt until the middle of November. So that's my backup plan if I don't score this weekend. So just gonna keep at it. Well, it is the last day of hunting in this one zone right here before I have to permanently move to another zone. In case you haven't noticed, I've been kind of going back and forth between 2 or 3 different deer zones for the last week or so. But in this particular zone, this is the last day I can hunt it. And it's still too warm, in my opinion, for this time of year. So we'll see how it goes. This is my last chance in this zone. The Jeep. There's an end in sight. Fuck. Well, it's the last day of the season in this zone. And I've hunted hard all damn day. And I haven't seen one legal buck all day. Tomorrow morning, that cold front's supposed to roll in, and I'll be over hunting that zone. There's a group of does over there. Looks like maybe 3 or 4 does, maybe a fawn with them. And they're about 150 yards out. And just for the fun of it, I'm going to see how close I can stalk up on them. Well, it's the last weekend on my second deer tag, so this is my last chance to get a deer this season. You know, I've been passing up on all those 1.5, maybe 2.5-year-old bucks this year, just as a matter of principle, but it's made it tough on myself. But I don't care. I'm enjoying the hunt itself, and a deer is just a bonus if I get one. I like this zone because it's just a great mix of high altitude pine forests, mid-level oak woodlands and chaparral, and transitional zones, you know, with juniper dotted grasslands in it. I'm not seeing many deer in this zone like I did in D9, but they seem to be black-tailed deer, California mule deer hybrids in this zone. But that doesn't matter because they all taste wonderful and they're challenging deer to hunt. So I'm going to get my gear ready and go to work here. But So it's about 15 minutes left of legal shooting light, and I just shot a buck. Looked like a huge 2x2. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Shot right there. He was quartering a little bit towards me, and I aimed at the point of the shoulder. Looks like a good hit. Oh man, look at that. That's as big as a 2x2 in this zone as you'll ever see. Yeah, baby. Nice. Nice. Just a big bodied mule deer. And just a beautiful buck. Look at that. Well, it's been a long, arduous deer season for me, but I finally scored just this fantastic 2x2. This is as big as a 2x2 gets, I think. Just a great buck, and I'm extremely happy with it. Let me show you what this hunt was all about here. And that's what it's all about right there. Delicious, healthy venison, and a freezer full of it. That's what I was after. All right, it's time to dig into this bad boy a little bit further here. And there's my deer right there. Let's get to working.